I'm sorry to replace Abuna David because he's sick. He's very sick, not only sick. So pray for him. And yesterday I was with Sayyidina Ambasarabian. He's apologizing to all of you who are supposed to come and greet you. But today it happened to be the first anniversary for the departure of Abuna Antoni Shenan in Valley. So I apologized. He told me to apologize for all of you that will not be able to come and greet all of you. I decided, God's willing, to start with you a topic which is really important for all married people. أبونا مش موجود طبعا، مش كده؟ أبونا مش هنا؟ the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. Could any man, if I ask him, what is romance, could he answer? This word for a man as if it's coming from another planet. And even if I ask this word to all women, every woman will answer differently. And still, they want their husband to understand. The word romance is so difficult to define. Could anybody tell me what's romance?
All the stuff that men do not do.
I did it before in Oxnard with a retreat. I remember the retreat was for the St. Athanasius Church, and all women who were in the hall, each one answered differently, because romance for every woman is different than another. That's why you have to explain to your husband what does it mean to you, or else you could describe your husband by something which he doesn't like to hear. Maybe some of you understand what is affection, but romance is a very difficult word. And in these days, I am seeing nearly every week a case of extramarital affair. It is on the increase. And one of the major causes for that is unmet needs, especially in the area of affection. I will tell you something about my fellow men, we as a gender. Most men, regarding expression of feelings, are handicapped. Most men are handicapped regarding that area of expressing feelings. So women, be merciful with your men. Either you teach them how to be affectionate according to the way you like it, because you don't read in a crystal ball. Some men are touchy-feely, some men. And maybe, I hope all of you knew that affection is the expression of emotional love. And maybe all of you have read or heard about the 5 languages of love, which I hate that book. I don't like it. But I love what the Bible has said about the languages of love. And the first, the prime language of love, expressed by the Holy Spirit in 1 Corinthians 7:3, is affection. And it's given to men as a commandment. God did not ask men, would you please render to your wife affection due her? He didn't say that. Or as in some of the verses, if possible, or if you can. But he said in verse 7:3, 1 Corinthians, husband, render to your wife affection due her, likewise wife to your husband. Which means it's a very important topic. Dr. Yusri maybe talked with you about verse 4 of the same chapter. Wife, you don't have authority over your own body but for your husband. Likewise, husband, you don't have authority over your own body but for your wife. I'm not going to talk about sexuality because Dr. Yusri covered that area. But the area of affection is so difficult for many men. And when I say most men are handicapped in that area, يعني, are you sitting close by, husband and wife, husband and wife? Any couple are not sitting close by? I need all of you to sit together, husband and wife, because everything will be now applying to all of you. I remember that topic I was discussing maybe 20 years ago in one of the states in the south, and the role play was done by the priest and his wife. I'm not going to do that today. And I'm going to discuss with you 5 issues. The title of the presentation is Communicating Emotions. And you will see the cover slide, Communicating Emotions. What do you see? The picture. What do you see? A husband and wife showing what? Show by their hand a heart. Why affection sometimes is seen during engagement, and when we start our marriage it gets less and less and less till the marriage becomes so dry, withered. affection is the prescription of God to marriage. Without it, marriage will be tasteless. Even if you are the most spiritual couple, without expressing affection every day, your marriage is going to suffer. Who is the most expressive of his affection known to every one of you? Who is the most expressive of his affection, and all of you know that about him? And in which book of the Holy Bible he was showing his expression of romance and affection to each one of you? Which book? The whole book is about affection and romance between the beloved and each one of you. Then what that book is? Song of Songs. So in the first issue to be discussed, I will read with you some of the verses of that book to see how much the Lord is expressing His love to your soul and you to Him. Because without being trained in that way, you will never be able to continue expressing affection to your spouse. You might start, but you will never continue. And the more every day you are involved with your heavenly beloved, you could express that to your spouse. This is the key. If you stop practicing that with your heavenly groom, you will never be able to express it to your earthly spouse. Because intimacy is primarily between each one of us and our heavenly bridegroom. He is training us for all kind and all aspects of the marital relationship. And through Him, we could experience and express in our daily life our love to our spouses. There is no one, at least whom I know, who is really in love with the heavenly bridegroom and he doesn't know how to express love to his or her own spouse. Even if the original family from which he or she already came were dry families, not expressing, if he will get in that heavenly relationship with the heavenly groom, he can't stop himself from showing love to the spouse. One of the most dry spots in North America is a certain city famous of if you ask any bishop or priest like that area is very dry. You go there, people don't express to one another. They have fear of expression to one another. It happened that I was in a missionary church, a convention in that missionary church, and that I was discussing that topic, that particular topic, affection and romance. It was in a retreat area, and a couple met with me before in counseling, before the presentation. They were over 42, 43 years marriage. And the wife was complaining that love is already withered between her and her husband. After I finished that presentation, I asked them to go, each couple, separately for half an hour, to sit somewhere in nature in that retreat area. There was a river and a bridge. On the banks of the river and on the bridge, these scattered couples, what they were doing, just holding hands, looking to the water, remembering what was said in that session. After they have returned, that particular wife came to tell me, for the first time in my life, I enjoyed a romantic, loving moments with my husband after over 40 years of marriage. That's why when we will read from the book Song of Songs, this will be the entry to the subject by showing that relationship between God and us. And then I will go after that to expressing emotions to one another. So if any one of you have a Bible, you could read, but I think it will come to you on the screen. Who will read the Bible with me here? Yes.
Song of Songs, which is Solomon's. Let him kiss me with the kisses of his mouth, for your love is better than wine, because of the fragrance of your good ointments. Your name is an ointment poured forth. Therefore the virgins love you. Draw me away, we will run after you. The king has brought me into his chambers. We will be glad and rejoice in you. We will remember your love more than wine.
Thank you, but slower next time, a bit slower. Because every word of what you are reading needs meditation. Thank you so much for that part. These are the first 4 verses of chapter 1. A relationship between the soul and the heavenly bridegroom. For that soul, the love of the heavenly groom is better than wine, was meant. You could be drunk from that kind of love, which means you could find yourself, if you leave yourself within the hand of your groom, meditating, you will find yourself not only satisfied, but mesmerized, dazed, as if you are drunk. Do you remember someone in the Old Testament? She was accused by being drunk while she was praying. Yes, mother of Samuel. So in our relationship with the bridegroom, some could look to us as if we are drunk, because of the extreme love between you and the heavenly groom. And sometimes you keep silent. You can't utter a word. And your heart is full of peace and the security of love which He is going to give you. All your senses are working. You could smell the fragrance of Christ, the aroma of Christ. You could feel His love in you. Just uttering His word. It's like an ointment, a fragrance poured on you. And then, because of that introduction, she told him, please, take me, draw me, take me into your own chamber. What is the chamber? This is the place where she is going to be alone with the bridegroom. A place where you're going to pray, a place where you're going to meditate, total calmness, and He is going to feed you, nourish you by His love for those who are hungry and thirsty for righteousness. He will do that. So draw me away, take me. And He did that for her, to spend time with Him. And all the other virgins were following. She was an example for them. And everybody admitted that His love is better than wine in the effect. Moving to verses 14 and 15 of that chapter.
My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blossoms in the vineyard of En-gedi. Behold, you are fair, my love. Behold, you are fair. You have...
Is this 15, 16 or 14 and 15?
14 and 15. Should we go on to 16?
Say 14 again, please.
My beloved is to me a cluster of henna blooms.
What's the verse before that?
A bundle of myrrh is my beloved to me, that lies all night between my breasts.
Is that number 13?
Would you like Chapter 1, verses 14 and 15.
Okay. And what's number 12?
Number 12. While the king is at his table, my vineyard sends forth its fragrance.
Okay. Then he's talking about you and the heavenly groom. As long as you are in His presence, and by the way, His royal presence is inside each one of us. The throne of God is inside me and inside you. And as long as you focus with your mind and your feeling and your senses on Him who is in you, His fragrance will cover you all. The spikenard, her spikenard or his spikenard will fill her. She will smell His own fragrance. And then to her is a bundle of myrrh. A myrrh is white flower. She is holding the bundle of myrrh between her breasts. She wants to smell Him. She wants to live with Him all the night, keeping Him on her chest, between her breast, very close to her heart. And other than that bundle of myrrh, the plant, the flowers of henna. What's the color of henna? Red. So white and red. In these two verses for one another, the beloved to her was a bundle of myrrh or henna blooms, which means all the purity. And all the blood sacrificed for her. She would love to keep it all the night, or to live on that all the night, holding her beloved. Holding not only physically, you can do that physically, but her mind and heart is fully focused on him. Going for chapter 2. Chapter 2, I wish if everybody will read chapter 2 from the beginning to the end. It shows how the Lord have chosen you to be His love, to be His own love, because He's calling you love and you are calling Him the beloved. And how is looking to each one of us as the only one. He could give Himself fully to each one of us. Starting verse 2. Continue to verse 4, then we'll continue, please.
Like a lily among thorns, so is my love among the daughters. Like an apple tree among the trees of the woods, so is my beloved among the sons. I sat down in His shade with great delight, and His fruit was sweet to my taste.
Thank you. So each one of us is like a lily, a flower. And the Lord is not seeing except you, because you are among thorns, which means others could be thorns and you are the only flower. He's totally focused in or to His own flower. Am I the one? Yes. He's telling you, you are the only lily to me, and everything is thorns. And you ask, could I be? Yes. I have chosen you to be my lily, my flower. And she will answer, and to me, you are the only fruit producing tree, the only apple tree among the trees of the wilderness, the trees which are not giving any fruit. And I love to sit protected by you, sit under your feet, in your shade, as if Christ is sitting on a chair and you are sitting on the floor under His feet. And His fruit, which is His word, is very tasty to your mouth. This is how He is expressing to you, and I'm expressing to Him that He is only one to me, and you are the only one to Him. Let's continue, please. Number 4.
He brought me to the banqueting house, and in His banner over me was love.
What is the banqueting house? and his banner over me was love. What is the house of love? The church. He brought me into the banquet of love, the banqueting hall, and you and him alone, he and I, he took me in, and he's saying, now we are in love. I'm going to show you my love. The best place to show that love is here in the church, where he's going to offer you his body and blood. After that, please.
Sustain me with the cakes of raisins. Refresh me with apples. For I am-
Sustain me with cakes of raisin. The raisin from which you got the wine, which means sustain me with your blood. Refresh me with the apple, with your word. For I am love sick. Would you imagine someone is sick from the love? It's so saturated by love. You could be sick by infections, sick by germs, but love sick, a word which means you are fully saturated by his love. Getting more to see how the affection and the romance the Lord is giving each one, the lily, the only lily. Yes.
His left hand is under my head, and his right hand embraces me. I charge you, O daughter of Jerusalem, by the gazelles of the doors, by the gazelles, or by the does of the field, gazelles.
That position, his left hand under my head, his right hand or arm embracing me, which means he's supporting my head. He's supporting my head with all the thoughts in it. He's telling me, I am supporting your head, don't worry. I will give you peace, don't worry. As the Lord is supporting the head of the church, who is the head of the church? The patriarch. The Lord Jesus Christ is supporting always by his left hand the head of the church, the one who was and the one who's going to come. Is our faith. And by his right hand is embracing the whole church, because this book song of songs is between the Lord and the church, or the Lord and each one of us. So you are in an embrace of love. And then in that situation, you don't want to listen to anybody. You don't want to listen to a phone, somebody talking to you. You are so enchanted by his love, by the embrace of love, which is giving you calmness, security, peace, and you are telling everybody, please get away. I want to stay with him in a prayer, in a Bible reading, in meditation. I want to stay with him till it pleases, till he will tell me, now it's sufficient for you. I gave you a dose of love. You could get out now. Get to your life. But when I am enjoying him, I don't want anybody to disturb me. This is the meaning of it. we're still talking about romance, which you will know that romancing God in nature and in His creation is the key, is the real key for the whole book and for our life. Real romance is to go with Christ or anyone whom you love in nature. And that book is full of nature, as we're going to see now. Let me continue, please.
The voice of my beloved, behold, he comes, leaping upon the mountains, skipping upon the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Behold, he stands behind our walk. He is looking through the window, gazing through the lattice. My beloved spoke, and said to me, rise up, my love.
At verse 10?
That's right.
Okay. I will pass by the other two verses because it has so many meaning. I will focus on that verse now. What he is telling you now. Yes.
My beloved spoke and said to me, rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away. For lo, the winter is past, the rain is over and gone.
He's telling each one of you now. Do you remember when you were young, you have a baby, and you could sit and open your arms, and your baby is sitting, tell him, come, come. And then he will start to move as a toddler, and he come running towards you, and you take him or her between your arms. You remember that? حد فيكم عمل كده قبل كده؟ انتوا مش مخلفين كلكم؟ Now just imagine when you are sitting, ask your baby, come habibi, come, come. And he will come running, he will jump between your hands, between your arms. Maybe he was playing. Maybe he was busy doing something. Then the Lord is saying, rise up. Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away, come to me. And he's opening his arms, and he's telling you, the winter is past. The rain is gone, it's over and gone. The rain and the winter of your spiritual life is not anymore. You are here with me, and I'm going to show you how good is the spring of your spiritual life. الربيع بتاع الحياة الروحية بتاعتكم. He will continue describing now. After you rush, you stand up from whatever you are doing. Forget about whatever you are doing. Why? Because asking you, rise up, my love, my fair one, and come to me. He will start to show me everything around me now.
The flowers appear on the earth. The time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth her green figs, and the vines with the tender grapes. Give a good smell. Rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away.
Thank you. So, if I will respond to him, I will leave whatever I am doing. Some of us are so involved in problems, in worries, and we tell you, don't worry. I will show you now how good is the spiritual life with me. But just come to my arms. Look around you. The whole place around you is full of flowers. Aroma flowers. Time of chanting and singing has come. The peace, the turtle dove, the peace is all over the place now. If you are between my arms. The fig tree, the vines, the vineyard, is getting you a smell, fresh smell of fruits. I am the one who is going to plant these fruits inside you. And then he will reassure, rise up, my love, my fair one, and come away, come to me. Continue, please. Verse 14.
O my dove, in the clefts of the rock, in the secret places of the cliff, let me see your face, let me hear your voice, for your voice is sweet, and your face is lovely.
If you are hiding from God, if you are hiding between the cliff of the rocks, if you are hiding behind walls and walls of hate, forgiveness, whatever walls you are doing, if you are hiding from Him, thinking as if He's not caring about you, He's telling you, my dove, why you are hiding from me? I wish to see your face. I wish to hear your voice. For your voice is sweet, and your face, your countenance is lovely. He's looking to each one hiding, frightened from whatever around. He's telling you, I am waiting for you. I am waiting to listen. Your voice is so sweet to me. And your countenance is so lovely to me. This is a love song between the heavenly groom and each one of us. Sorry, I will go over to chapter 4. Chapter 4. Just verse 7. Verse 7, the 11 and 12. To see also how He's looking at each one of us. Chapter 4, verse 7.
You are all fair, my love, and there is no spot in you.
He's telling each one of you, separately, individually. He's not saying to you as a group, no. Each one separately. You are all fair, my love. You are all fair, without any spot, without any blemish in you. How is He going to see us this way? Because He's looking to Himself inside us, the Holy Spirit inside us. Irrespective of what we are doing from behavior, irrespective of our sins, He loves each one of us so much. So He's seeing us as if we are all pretty. We are all fair in His eyes. As a mother looking to her baby, irrespective of his features, she thinks that he is the prettiest of all. He's looking to each soul of us as saying, you are all fair, my love. But I have so many spots. I have so many sins. Say, no, I know beforehand I'm going to cleanse these. Because when you will come to me, I will attract you by my love. You will want to repent. And I will cleanse you. Verses 11 and 12. Please.
Your lips, O my spouse, drip as a honeycomb. Honey and milk are under your tongue, and the fragrance of your garments is like the fragrance of Lebanon.
as if every word I'm saying, as if it's honey dripping. But I'm not. I'm saying a lot of idle words. But he is sure that he will put in me his own words, and my mouth will drip like a honeycomb. Under my tongue, milk and honey, which means whatever I'm saying is going to benefit like milk and sweet like honey. Compare that to me and to you if I say something which is bad. But he has hope in me. And then we'll continue, number 12.
A garden enclosed is my sister, my spouse, a spring shut up, a fountain sealed.
You to Christ is a garden enclosed. He is the only one in that garden. And he will plant in that garden all kinds of fruit producing trees and trees which are getting fragrance and aroma all over the whole place. He is the only one in that garden, which means you have chosen him to be the beloved of your life. And to him, you are his own garden. And he will continue from 13 to 15, all kinds of trees, of fragrances. He's going to put inside each one of us the virtues, the fruit of the Spirit. He will plant inside us whatever. And I am the one who has to care of that. Sometimes I see, Lord, I'm so withered I'm so dry from inside. Yes, you have planted these, but I don't smell it. Do you know? I smell it. You will tell me that. I am the one who planted these. And I will care about it. Verse 16, please.
Awake, O north wind, and come, O south. Blow upon my garden, that its spices may flow out. Let my beloved come to his garden and eat its pleasant fruits.
If you are a garden full of fruit-producing trees, anybody here who has an apricot tree in his garden? حد فيكم شاف an apricot tree at the time of the summer? You will smell the apricot from a mile away. And then when it becomes so ripe, it drips. It becomes so soft and it drips certain aroma. So when he is saying, I don't mind winds from the north, winds from the south, tribulations, temptations, your aroma inside me, of what you have planted inside me, will smell. Oh my groom, come to your own garden and eat from your own fruits. When you are going to the communion, take communion, remember, do I have fruits? Oh, I am so withered. If I feel dry, I tell him, oh Lord, I am coming to you. Come to renew these fruits inside me. Touch these plants so it become green again. These are your own fruits. It's all between you and your heavenly groom. This is the real romance. This is the real affectionate words between two who are in love. Your soul and Christ, who paid his price for each one of us. Chapter 6, verse 2, please.
My beloved has gone to his garden, to the beds of spices, to feed his flock in the gardens, and to gather the lilies.
When he will enter inside his garden, he comes inside me, to see the beds of spices which he has planted. My mind is a bed of spice. My feeling, my will, my conscious, my subconscious, my senses. In the baptism, he planted these as bed of spices, smells his aroma. Then he is coming to see how it looks like, these beds of spices. He will come and gather the lilies. But he will pass by all these components inside me to see how it is smelling. I think of myself, how my mind is smelling now. My feelings, my behavior, my senses, my will, my value system, my conscious, my subconscious, which is full of what? Is it all beds of spices? If not, I will cry and tell him, oh Lord, come to your own garden and revive these beds of spices by your own spirit. Chapter 7, please, 10 to 12.
I am my beloved's, and his desire is toward me. Come, my beloved, let us go forth to the field. Let us lodge in the villages. Let us get up early to the vineyards. Let us see if the vine has budded, whether the grape blossoms are open, and the pomegranates are in bloom. There I will give you my love.
There I give you my love. That soul is sure that I am for my beloved, and his desires towards me. He desired me always. He desired my love, and all his desire are towards me. Now, let me go with you, my beloved, to the village. Let us spend the night there together. And very early in the morning, let us go to the field of service. There, I will see all the plants which you have planted. I will see the fruits, the harvest, and all of them are smelling so nice. And between those trees, between those people, between those harvests, I will give you my love. This is for servants who go with Christ, visiting somewhere, ministering, missionary work. And that will give my love. The last two verses, chapter 8, verse 6 and 7, please.
Set me as a seal upon your heart, as a seal upon your arm. For love is as strong as death, jealousy as cruel as the grave. Its flames are flames of fire, the most vehement flame. Many waters cannot quench love, nor can the floods drown it. If a man would give for love all the wealth of his house, it would be utterly despised.
Okay. These are the most famous verses in the whole book. Set me as a seal in your heart, which means, Lord, put me as close as you can on your heart, which is pumping love to me. I wish to feel, to hear, to be as close as possible to your heart. Every pulse of your love, I wish to be so close to you. Set me as a seal in your arm, which means I want to be attached to your arm of power because I'm so weak. Close to your heart, to your love. Love is so strong, like death, which means if you are really in love, real love, love could come as an attack. You'll be lovesick. And the Lord is so jealous of His love. If I look right or left to a sin, He's so jealous. The love, the genuine love of Jesus Christ, you can't equate it to the whole treasures of the whole world. It's utterly despised. Now we have finished that part. I think after all that, I wish not to go to the rest of the presentation. But this is the reality of affection and romance. I will come to the reality of our life now. If you are full of that, you could easily express to your spouse. I need 2 volunteers to come to me here, and I will show to all of you how to express affection between spouses. I told you, if you are full of love of Jesus, you could express to one another. Expression of affection must be on daily basis, with the companionship from day one of your marriage till the end. What happens after a few months, we are getting busy with the children, we are getting busy of whatever we are doing, and we forget about one another. Affection is touches of love, holding hands, I wish if you could see them doing that. Holding hands while you are walking or sitting will show exactly how much you love your partner. An arm around the shoulder. Please respect those who are making that role for you, at least to remind you what you're supposed to do every day. An arm around the waist. The most intimate is for a husband to touch the hair of his wife. If they are sitting close by on a love seat, holding hands or arm around the shoulder, or touching one another genuinely, non-sexual touches, will show them that we are for one another. The more they are filled with Christ, the more they could express. Read the Bible, pray, you will find yourself all over your own spouse. Try it. Kissing, hugging, cuddling. Between two spouses who are in love is different so much than a casual hug. Show them, please, two who are in love, how do they hug one another? Please. Hugging, there must be a certain number of seconds, which means I do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and they are still in the hug. It cannot be 1 second. And see their hands if they are hugging. the hands are showing on the back that I mean what I'm doing. A genuine kiss between two who are in love must also carry the same number of seconds. It can't be 1 second. A kiss between two spouses who are in love and a hug between two spouses who are in love is enjoyable. Do it as much as you can every day. Because if you don't do it, your love will wither. Thank you so much. Actually, they need a present, a gift from the whole group for their courage to express that. There's something called TFA. What is TFA? Thinking, feeling, acting. What is the picture you are seeing here under TFA? What is the mood of the wife? And what is the husband doing? Imagine a wife is so sad or crying or has mood is depressed. Her husband could be putting his arm around her, but his eyes and attention is to something else. TFA means you have, during communication of emotions, you have to adjust your frequency, your wave, your mood to the mood of the one with you. If you are in a thinking mood and she is in an emotional mood, she's crying, she's sad, which means emotions, and you are into the logic, there will be no communication. You have to go to the frequency of feeling so you could understand and express to her and she could express to you. Adjusting your wave to her wave to your wave. If you are in the logic, she has to speak in the logic and then go into the wave of feeling. Some people are primarily thinkers, but they have feelings too. Some people are primarily feelers, but also they could think. Some people are primarily, they act impulsively without thinking or feeling. But most of us, they think or feel, then act. So it is very important to train yourselves how to adjust yourself on the wave of your spouse. If he is into the logic 1, 2, 3, 4, he can't go whining and crying. But if he is sensitive to you, seeing you crying, he has to leave his logic and go into the feeling. Then expression of emotions, understanding will continue. This adjustment needs empathy. You need to empathize, to put yourself in the shoes of your spouse, to go into the inner field, inner world of his feeling or her feeling, his thinking or your thinking. With children or adults, empathy is a skill you develop, but be careful in any communication. If someone is in a mood of feeling, you have to communicate with him or her in that particular mood. Attend to the feeling and then take both of you to the logic after that. What's next? LUV. What are you seeing? How big is the man on that scooter? The wheelchair. Do you see the picture? How big? Skinny? And he is ordering drive-through. He is ordering from, say, McDonald's. So he's ordering. Say, if this man will ask the one through the microphone, I need 3 Big Mac and a big fries and a big Coke. The one inside could tell him, sir, you are so obese, 3 Big Mac could kill you, a big fries could destroy your health, and why do you take big Coke? Could she say that to him? And if she will say that to him, what will happen to her? They will fire her. So irrespective of what he is ordering, she will listen carefully, she will understand the order, then validate the order. Sir, that you have ordered 3 Big Mac, 1 big fries, 1 big Coke. Please go to the other window and you will get it. In our life, if someone will ask his spouse, would you please make me a cup of coffee? And she will tell him, no, I can't. It's a hazard for your health. I can't make you coffee. Okay. Would you please, I am interested to cook for me potato today. Say, okay. And then she will cook molokhaya. Does this mean that she listened, understood, and validated? No. If I ask for a coffee, and then my wife would tell me, what kind? Do you prefer decaf or ordinary coffee? What kind of sweeteners? What kind of a creamer? She's listening, understanding, then validating. Yes, you want such and such and such, I will do it for you. No misunderstanding. Understanding the feeling, the need. That's why in some of us, in our communication of emotions, sometimes we don't listen, understand, and validate. If we go according to that, there will be no misunderstanding. What is the primary language of biblical love? What is the primary language in the Bible about love? It's in front of you. 1 Corinthians 7:3 means, husband, render to your wife affection due her, likewise wife to your husband. The prime language, number 1 language of love in the Bible is affection. It's number 1. He's asking each one of us to do it. Asking the man first. He has to be trained, and also the wife will give him the same. One of the languages. Another language. What is the middle? Husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church and he gave himself for her. Ephesians 5:25. which means giving and sacrifice. It's a language. Please don't marry unless you are a giver, not a taker. If you insist to take, you will not have a good marriage. Satisfy the needs of others before your own. And what's the third picture? Christ doing what? Washing the feet. John 13. We call it ministry of washing the feet. Giving must be in humility. If you love, you wash the feet of those whom you love. You mean must be humble, not arrogant. A language of love. Apply the last verse. Apply Matthew 25 verse 35 and 36. I was hungry and you gave me food. I was thirsty, you gave me a drink. I was a stranger, you took me in. I was naked, you clothed me. I was sick, you visited me. I was in prison, you came to me. Could this apply to marriage? Yes or no?
Yes.
How many times did you feel stranger in your home? How many times you felt that you are thirsty and hungry for love or a good word? How many of you are saying from their heart, I love you, every day to their spouses? Do you wish to hear? Your children wish to hear that also. How many felt that I need to be covered up? I did something wrong. I need my partner to cover me up. Yustur alayya. I don't want him or her to go and spread the news about what I have done wrong. How many times I feel emotionally and spiritually sick? I need someone to visit me and take my hand. How many of you sometimes feel that they are imprisoned in their homes? Do you want to go out? Do you want some freedom? Do you want some time for themselves? This could apply to. Last issue, house on the rock. The house on the rock. The word seats, I'm not going to explain that program. It is a full program to rekindle any marriage which is withered. The word, the acronym SEATS means S stands for spiritual, E for edification, which is positive communication, A for affection, T for tenderness, genuine touch and time spent together, S for sexuality. That house built on the rock. Each house could be one of the two spouses. Built on the rock of Christ. It has so many floors, that house. The first floor is the spiritual. The one after is the positive communication, and then the affection, then the tenderness, then sexuality. What's outside superficial could be sexuality, but deep attached to Christ is the spiritual life. God, Jesus, will gather two homes together, built on the rock. He'll gather them close, then He will put them together. And He gradually will demolish the walls between the fifth floor and fifth floor. Fourth, gradually, which means uniting the two together. From outside, one is brick, other is white. Individuality is kept. But from inside, the Lord is uniting the two together. And both based on the rock. How to build your house on the rock? It needs digging and find yourself till you reach the rock. put the foundation and start building. That program, each letter means exercises which could revive your love. It needs 1 hour by itself. But this is, I assure you, there is hope for those whom their love is withered. There is hope for each one in that program. Thank you so much.